Hey, Ricardo. Long time no see. Jaguri Devchi.
All righty, we are going to start. We have many more people coming, but luckily we have Claudia to admit the people in. So nice to have all of you joining us for the possibility of going to Kashmir with us. The last trip was it was just wonderful, and so we're doing it again. People wanted us to do it after a year, but we needed time to rest and prepare again. So we are doing that this September. I wanted to, before I start speaking or just sharing our itinerary, I wanted George and Claudia to say hello, a little something, something, something.
Hello, a little something. Nice to see Ricardo also, and many of the same faces that we saw not only in Kashmir, but we see on the webinars, and Al, Bruce, Shana, and gosh, it's 4:30 a.m. in Oz. Leanne.
Yeah, no kidding. I know. And it's also nice to see some faces of people that were supposed to come and then last moment couldn't because of certain circumstances. So nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah. That was sad, but anyways, good to have all of you. What I thought we could do. Oh, you know what, Claudia? Claudia, say hi. My mistake.
No. I was kind of busy letting everybody in. Hi, everyone.
Good. There's Claudia over there. So
Welcome.
yeah, welcome. Thank you, Claudia. So are we on the right thing for us to start showing the day-to-day itinerary? I have my view on, is it recording as speaker, Claudia, or as gallery from your side? Do you know, like when I'm speaking,
I
is my
didn't change it, but I
okay,
think originally it's recording the speaker and whatever you have there.
okay, fabulous. Just wanted to make sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over, it's a 13-day itinerary instead of 12 days that we had previously because we were kind of rushed. So we decided to add an extra day so that we're not rushed and so that we can experience more than just going. And so with that, we've created the day-to-day itinerary that we're going to share with you. And then you can share questions with us once we're done with that. And maybe some of the people that are with us can share, for a minute or so of their experience when they were in Kashmir or something of that sort. So Claudia, she keeps on admitting, I am going to share our day-to-day itinerary, which is on the other side over there. So just give me a moment. So before I start, I just want to make sure, do you all see where it just says day-to-day itinerary? Okay. So we are going to start off with day one, September 8th, 2025. Whenever you arrive that day, which will hopefully be morning, but hopefully you'll be arriving a few days before that just to kind of settle yourselves and get used to the time change. You'll be picked up at the Srinagar airport and you'll be driven to whichever guest house you're staying at. That day, we will all have lunch together at the guest house, at one of the larger guest house. And then after lunch is over, we'll have orientation and a connection with everyone with our group that is joining us. And then after that is complete, we will all go over to Swamiji's ashram, which is just a little bit of a walk. And you will be shown around Swamiji's ashram. We'll also have a little map just to get an idea. It's not a big ashram, but just to get an idea, especially in the beginning, of where everything is and who and what and the stories that George will share and everything of that sort. And then we will have a group meditation and dinner. So that is for the first day. Day two, yoga in the morning, breakfast, and then we're going to walk or be driven to Gopi Tirth and the spring where the great Kashmir Shaivite saint, including Abhinavagupta, frequented this temple. I'm going to have George talk a little bit more about this because he frequents it quite often. We'll have puja at the temple underneath the chinar tree, which is like these massive maple trees. We'll meditate. We'll go back, have lunch at the guest house. And then in the afternoon, we're going to do some seva together of helping get things prepared, which takes days, but we'll be there to put some time into it for the Mahasamadhi, which is the fire ceremony for the celebration of Swami Lakshmanjoo's life. It's his death ceremony celebration. And then we'll have meditation and dinner that night. So before I go to the next one, George, you want to talk a little bit about anything here or Gopi Tirth?
No, this is a very special place where, I mean, it's really that for centuries, you know, great yogis went here and meditated. There's an old Shiva Lingam in that small temple, which is on the right, and it's more than 1,000 years old. They can't really date it because it has like a special shape and everything. And yeah, we sat under a big chinar tree there and we meditate. And Swamiji used to go here frequently and have picnics with his master. And then after his master passed away, he would go here and have picnics and recite verses with his own devotees. There's two majestic chinar trees there, which are probably 400 or 500 years old. Yeah, it's a beautiful place, and the vibration there is quite exquisite.
And you can also great views of the valley and the Dal Lake from up there, and it's a really nice walk up there. But we also have one or two of our vans that drive up there for people that can't walk all the way up there. Thank you, George. And Claudia, please add in at any time that you feel appropriate. Okay. Okay. So day 3 is yoga and meditation in the morning, and then it's a day of fast. And fasting in Kashmir, I was raised with this, is fruits, nuts, and you can also have aloo chippis, which are potato chips, fresh fried potato chips. Anyways, so that is how the day starts. And then we have Mahasamadhi, which is Swamiji's fire ceremony, where we go over to the ashram, we sit in the large hall, and the priest there with this large fire chants, I say, for like 8 or 9 hours of burning the fire and all these different chants and pouring of ghee and fruits and wood, and it's just such a magnificent experience. So we're there all day through this. George, of course, will be able to give more detail with that because he's our pujari whenever he comes and visits us here in America, but he knows more of the details of that. We have snacks in between, and then late lunch, dinner of prasad, which is blessed food, and then we meditate together. It's just a really vibrated day and just really powerful for people that have never experienced a large yagna, a large fire ceremony. George, what would you like to add?
No, that you have their fast. I remember the first havan that I went to in Kashmir, and Swamiji said, you know, tomorrow on the Kashmir we fast and we just have one meal. And I thought, that's okay, I'm used to fasting, you know, when I was a young budding yogi. But I found out that I ate more on that day before the meal than any other day normally, because they kept bringing fruits, stacks of bananas, potato chips means aloo chips, or aloo is potato, fried with a little bit of sprinkle of salt and a little bit of chili powder, and they make all these pakora. It was just, yeah, by the time dinner came around, I was pretty full. So for those of you that don't like to fast, but you don't have to have that. And in the evening, after the ceremony is over, the fire ceremony, which is it's all about remembering Swamiji's departure from this world. And, you know, we talk about the whole flow of the sections of the different things. And there are breaks in between where even the pujari himself, he has to take a break. And so it's a really wonderful day. Swamiji always really treasured this day when this is where, there's a picture that John Hughes took in 1972 or 73 of Swamiji performing his own master's ceremony, the same kind of ceremony.
Yeah. Thank you, George. So day 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be our day of retreat, as in study retreat and practice. What we were able to do last time is we were able to get a large tent with flooring and chairs, and also areas to sit on the ground for people that like that, but we also had chairs. And the tent was right in front of Swamiji's home and his room upstairs. And it was there was just something really special about studying for 4 days, these ancient teachings right in front of the master's home. And so what the day usually looks like is yoga and meditation in the morning, breakfast, puja. It says here, this is my mistake, study of excerpts from Grace and Spiritual Practice. It's actually going to be the wisdom of Kashmir Shaivism we're going to be studying. This is from last time, that is. Lunch in silence, stories of Swamiji from his bio that's supposed to be coming out this year. Continue our studies of wisdom of Kashmir Shaivism, tea break, practices from the Vijnana Bhairava, one of the 112 meditations, meditation, and dinner in silence. So this is what the 4-day retreat usually looks like. And yeah, it's just really, you come out of this through study, through practice, through interaction, through times of silence. You just come out of this just vibrated. I mean, how can you not? So I wanted to mention one thing before I go to the next page, is that for our food, because food is so important in many different ways, taste is important, yes, but also that it's clean and that people don't get sick. And so what we did last time is we, according to George's recommendation, we hired a head chef from Jammu, which is about a 8-10 hour drive, and he brought his whole team of 18 men, from sous chefs to chefs, and they cooked us so many delicious meals. It was just really a treat. So we're going to hire them again and have them come in the truck and bring all their stuff and cook for us. But I just wanted to add that part because that was a wonderful addition of taste, but also safety and good food. George, you want to add to the 4-day retreat?
Oh, I see Tony. His name is Tony. Well, he's known as Tony here. He's the head cook, and he caters for huge weddings. 3, 4, 5,000 people. But and I've known him for 30, 40 years. Swamiji used to visit his family home. His father was like a devotee, and he really makes sure that everybody's catered for, and his team, I mean, they just adore him, and it's not like he has to discipline them very hard. They just really do a good job, and they're the top team of like catering for weddings, yagya, any kind of ceremony in Jammu. They're the top team, and he's looking for. He says, when are they coming again? He's writing it down in his diary, and so yeah.
Good. So these are some photos of Chashma Shahi, one of the Mughal gardens, and another one of Pari Mahal that we will be visiting through our days. These two places we did not visit last time because the President of India was visiting during the day that we were supposed to go. So there was only so much we could do. There was a couple things we didn't do because of situations like this. Now, this is a place that many people want to go to and really wanted to go to last time, but I'll tell you what happened in a moment. And this is visiting the Shiva rock, the origin of the Shiva Sutras. George, you want to say a little bit about that, about the Shiva rock?
Yeah. This is a shot of Shiva rock taken from the other side of this stream that runs by. That rock is about 50 feet wide, and it's the size of a small house. And we sit on top of that rock and usually just have a small puja there, meditation. It's up in a forest, in a place called Dachigam Forest, and we get permission to go in. We're very familiar with the forestry people there now. In fact, they've been building better stairs and better place for accommodation for us to go there. And this is the origin. This is actually how Shaivism became known as Kashmir Shaivism. It's not Kashmir, it's just from Kashmir, but after the Shiva Sutras, around 850 to 900, Christian era, it got known because the Shiva Sutras came out of Kashmir. But before that, it was just called, Shaivism of Kashmir. Yeah, it's always a very, it's just a lovely trip to go there.
Yeah, and also chant together and meditate. So last time, the reason we weren't able to go is because it was during the season of deer mating.
Yeah.
And so nobody's allowed to go because I guess the deer mating was not that it wasn't going very well, but they had had some issues as in the population was decreasing. So they wanted to make sure that people didn't go. So anyways, we were not able to go. But that was in October last time. This is towards the beginning, more middle and beginning of September. So we'll make sure that that's all set and cleared sooner than later. And then in the afternoon, we'll probably go over past the rice paddies into a small town where we will have tea with a family that sells really beautiful, some of the most beautiful Kashmiri pashmina shawls that I've ever seen, even being raised in Kashmir. So people can join that or not. There's what I want to mention is there's things, experiences here that you might not want to join, or you're tired, or this is your retreat and you just want to stay in your room, or you want to go a little somewhere else. That's completely fine, just as long as you tell us, because this is your retreat pretty much. So this is one of the other places we're going to. And then we come over to day 9, again, yoga, meditation, and breakfast. And this is where we visit Kirvabani. And it's a goddess shrine on a spring where, with the help of the priest and a ceremony, we offer milk and rice pudding to the goddess. So what does this all represent, George? The rice pudding and the offerings to the great goddess.
Well, first of all, this particular shrine is considered to be one of the 52 Shakti Pitas in all of India. When Shiva was carrying, Sati's body, Vishnu threw a discus and Shakti's body broke up into 52 pieces. One piece landed right here. And since then, it's been this very revered shrine. The magical thing about this shrine is the water, which there is like aquamarine blue or aquamarine. It changes color depending upon the social environment. For instance, in 1947, when there was partition and there was all this change of the borders of Kashmir, and a lot of fighting went on, a lot of people were killed, the water went black, completely black. At other times it goes gray or red. You always know there's something going on in the environment at the time. And the Devi here is very much alive. People go there. Swamiji went there every year on her special birthday occasion. It was an Ashtami, and it's a really nice place. They've maintained it as best they can. There's a grove of chinar trees that have been there, 300-400 years. And this is the place where Vivekananda went in 1897. He was sent to this place by Swamiji's grandmaster. And when he walked around, it was already in ruin from 500 years of Mughal ruin. And he walked around and he was depressed before that. And he had these thoughts that this is in ruin and nobody's really done anything about it. In 1897, Kashmir was just coming out of that period of Mughal rule. And he was saying, I have enough influence in India and South to rebuild this temple. And suddenly the goddess spoke to Vivekananda and said, who are you? Who are you to say what you can do? She said, I can build a 6-story golden temple here right now on this spot. And she said, just relax, go back and do your work, and leave the rest up to Shiva. It's all karma, it's all unfolding. And after that, it was the first time Vivekananda had an experience of Shakti, because it was a feminine voice that spoke to him. Before that, he was fairly staunch Vedantic idea, Advaita Vedanta, and Shiva, is the supreme being. And there wasn't, in the South, there's not that much place for Shakti except in the Shakta systems. And he just came back and said, Shakti's alive. He was directed towards this temple by Swami Rama, who is Swamiji's grandmaster, after he visited his ashram. So it's a very special place, and we have a tea there, and we do the puja. Everybody gets a little thali with something like a sugar cube to throw in the water, some milk, and some flowers, and we get some halva to share with everybody. So it's you'll see, for those who were there before, it's quite a beautiful experience, and everybody gets a little bit of prasad to take home.
Thank you, George. In the afternoon, we plan on going to one of the Mughal gardens, the Shalimar Garden. If it is completely fixed now, and if it's not, we'll go to Nishat Garden. There's some really beautiful Mughal gardens in Kashmir from the Mughal days. And we will then, in the afternoon later on, stop by the Emporium for Kashmiri handicrafts near the ashram, again, if you would like, and then meditation and dinner. Here's a photo of the lotus gardens, lots of lotus gardens in Kashmir with Dal Lake, really beautiful. Here's Shalimar Bagh garden. This is how it used to look. I think they're redoing it right now is what's happening, fixing it. This is a photograph of our group, most of our group from last time when wasn't this George and Harvan?
Yeah, it's on the top of the steps. In fact, behind us is the valley where the Shiva rock is. That goes behind us. We're looking up into Dachigam Valley.
And isn't the mountain back there too?
Yeah, the mountain, it's sort of in cloud, but the mountain that's sort of right behind the group is Mahadev Mountain, from where they say that the rock actually tumbled down off the top of the mountain and landed in the lake, landed in that little streamlet. And Vasugupta, the person who's the propagator of the Shiva Sutras, he had a dream in which Shiva appeared and told him, go to this Dachigam, find this rock there, and underneath that rock, on that rock, you'll see my Shiva Sutras. So he went and he saw the rock, but nothing there. And as soon as he touched it, the whole rock turned up. And underneath are, the Shiva Sutras, they're written. Of course, nobody's ever seen that, but we're hoping that more and more people will come each year, and then one year there'll be enough people that we can lift it up and just have a look.
George, it's so big.
That's the plan.
Yes, it is. Very good. So then day 10, we visit the Shankaracharya temple. And I don't know if it's going to happen this time, but I still have to share through George's connection with one of the doctors for the army. We were able to finally, after a little pushing and prodding, get up to the temple before the masses show up, and we were able to start off with the arti, the singing in the temple with the priest of just the beginning of the day, and it was just so beautiful and powerful. You remember that, George? George, you have to unmute.
Yes, I do remember. My hair's still standing on end from that experience. But it's a beautiful place to go too, because it overlooks the whole of the valley of Kashmir. You see the lake and from up there, and yeah.
Yeah. So that's in the morning, and then be a part of their puja there, their arti, and then we can sit there and meditate for a while, and then go down back to the ashram and have lunch. And then either that day, that afternoon, because things might change according to what's available and open, so it'll get adjusted. But then we'll also visit Swami Ram's ashram. And George, share Swami Ram and the ashram. I wish we had more pictures. Let me just see if we do here. Okay, we do that. Okay.
Yeah.
George.
Okay, so this is history in Kashmir, because this whole building here was actually bought and owned by Swamiji's father. And Swamiji's father, Swami Ram, was the guru of Swamiji's family. He was the family priest. But he installed Swami Ram on the first floor of this building, and he he lived there during 20 years of his really intense sadhana, his very intense period of meditation. And that's where Vivekananda went. That's where Vivekananda, who I just mentioned, that's where he met Swami Ram in 1897. And from there he was directed to go to Kirbhavani. And Swamiji's ancestral house was just down this alleyway down here, just down the road, which has, been probably bought and owned a number of times, since then. So the place has a lot of history, and Swamiji always loved to go there. He called this the head post office of Kashmir Shaivism, because Swami Ram, out of respect, Swami Ram was responsible for Swamiji's birth. His mother and father approached Swami Ram in 1907 or 1906, I think it was, and said, we want to have a son. And Swami Ram produced some almonds from his pocket and said, he gave it to Swamiji's mother. He said, eat these almonds, and you not only will have a son, you'll have a great shining light in the tradition of Shaivism. His parents sort of glossed over the light bit. They just wanted another son because they had an abundance of daughters. And Swamiji was born 10 months later. So that's that ashram is, and it's been maintained ever since. There's one wonderful man there who looks after it. We visit there very regularly. Whenever people come to Kashmir, we always phone him up, and he makes sure he gets to open the door for us. It's always very early because he's an anaesthetist, and he has to rush off to the hospitals every day and do operations. But he makes sure that the ashram is open. And when we have a big group, we try to make it on a time when he has a day off. So,
yeah. Thank you, George. And this right here is the Jhelum River.
Yeah, the ashram is just sort of across this bridge and sort of around behind these buildings on another road. So it's...
So, the wrong picture, but
that's okay.
Yoga breakfast. So we're going to be visiting the Chakreshwari temple and have a puja there. So George, there was 2 temples that we went to. So can you share the 2 temples? Because I think both of them one of them for sure was a goddess temple that was really powerful. The second one we went to by the fort. Can you give a little background of these 2 different ones, please?
Do we have any pictures?
I don't know why this
that's
picture
okay.
came up, but
Yeah, that's okay.
of the big orange rock, right?
Yeah. It's called. It's a temple which is right on a hill, right in the center of the valley of Srinagar, and it's to the goddess Sharika, is called, or Chakreshwari, and the theory has it that she's a goddess who she did some shape shifting as goddesses can do. Once Kashmir, the whole valley was full of water, and there was a demon, a water demon called Jaral Baba, and he was terrorizing everybody, and they came to the Devi and they prayed, and she said, okay. So she went in the guise of a small bird with a pebble in her mouth, and she just told him to stop, harassing everybody. And he thought, who are you? You're a small bird. She dropped the pebble on his head, and that was the end of the demon. And then the waters of Kashmir Valley were all sort of drained out by Kashyap, i.e. the name Kashmir. Kashyap basically drained all the waters out, and Kashmir became Kashmir. But that temple, Chakreshwari, is beautiful. There's a huge orange, it's orange only because they keep putting this lac all over the thing. And on the front of it is a natural Shiva, a natural Sri Yantra. And yeah, Claudia got that. That's the rock. And it was the place where Adi Shankara, so many thousand years ago, where he first saw the natural Sri Yantra, and he embraced Shakti from that. He also, Lord Shiva appeared to him, told him 100 verses, of which he forgot 50, and that became the Sounda Lahari, one of the main texts of Shaktism or Sri Vidya in the whole Shaiva pantheon. So we go there and we sat, we meditated, we did a little puja there, sang some verses, did parikrama. And it's on this hill. And down at the base of this hill on the way in, there's another very famous Shakti temple called Pokaribal, and it's a Durga temple. And that temple, everybody will remember, because I don't know if you remember the temple so much, but afterwards we had this wonderful Kashmiri tea and Kashmiri breads. And that was a very, very delightful experience.
Yeah, that was
Because,
really special. No, it was really powerful because there was an inner sanctum and then of the Devis, right? And then outside was a Shiva lingam that we all were able to pour
Yeah.
water and milk
Water.
over and everything like that. Yeah, it was really, really special. I'd never been there any time in my childhood. I never remembered being there, and it's powerful.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice place. And yeah, so we'll go there. It's called Pokaribal. It's on this hill area of that's okay. Next, this is day 12. Go ahead, Claudia.
Okay, so day 12, yoga meditation breakfast. We're going to visit the Ganesh temple in town. There's a Ganesh temple right in the middle of town. Go there. I don't have a picture of that because when we went there, they didn't allow us to take pictures. There was army outside and around the quarters, but it was, again, powerful and beautiful. And then lunch at the ashram. And then either that afternoon or the afternoon before the sunset, we're all going to go out on shikara boats. I think Alan has a shikara boat behind his head, but they're boats, nice, beautifully decorated boats that a man is rowing that you sit in, and kind of similar to Utpala Deva from the Shiva Sratavali hymns to Shiva, we're all going to go out in the boats out into the sunset. And George did this with the group, but I'll let him explain it, of just chanting the hymns, George.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that time on the lake was something quite special. It's actually the first time I had ever done that, and it reminded us, because we were singing Shiva Sratavali, and that's the same lake where Utpaladeva, the great master from 9 or 800 and let me see, when was Utpaladeva? He was late 8th or 9th century, which means 850 through to 900. He went around that lake with his disciples, and he spontaneously sang the verses of what's now known as the Shiva Stotravali. Stotra means the hymns to Shiva, and they're just one of the most magnificent documents on really the essence of Pratyabhijna philosophy of Shaivism, because they're all poetic. Sanskrit scholars say the Sanskrit of those verses is exquisite. He's the Shakespeare of Indian Indian poetry, and being on the lake and reciting the verses that he wrote on that lake. I know the water has changed, but it was really something quite special.
Here, I just want to share a picture of the shikaras, right? And the Dal Lake and the Hari Parvat behind, and Shankaracharya and everything. It's quite an exquisite experience. You float out towards the sunset. So let's go back over here for our last part. And then that evening, we are going to stay at the ashram, have dinner there later. But before that, we have Sufiana singers come. And it was, I'm gonna again jump to you, George. George, describe the Sufiana singers, but what I would like this time, because my friend is Kashmiri and understood what they were saying, have somebody there that explains in a few lines of the devotional hymns that they're singing, because even not knowing what they were singing about was just exquisite. So George, add to this.
Yeah, I mean, we can stop sharing the screen if you want, Claudia.
Yeah. As I'm going to show the pictures.
Oh, okay. There's more pictures. Yeah, that's the stairway up to Shankaracharya. Hold on, not so fast. Okay, that's the stairway going up to Shankaracharya temple.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a view from the top of the hill, I think. And this is us sitting under a chinar tree up in Harvan Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last piece, just to finish this, and then we'll come off, is day 13, yoga, meditation, breakfast, and to be driven to the Srinagar airport for you to fly out. Unless you want to stay for a few more days, then we can figure that all out for you with the hotels.
And this is the hill. This hill is called Hari Parbat. You know, the hill, basically the hill of Shiva. Hari is also Shiva. The temple, the Pokribal temple, is just sort of tucked in these trees down here. You can't see it so clearly. And the Chakreshwari temple is on the other side of this hill. And for as long as people can remember, you know, once the lake was drained out and Kashmir became, Kashmir, people have done parikrama. They've walked clockwise around this hill doing their morning meditations. And it used to start from 2 a.m. in the morning. Swamiji said in his childhood, he remembered people. It was a tradition to spend an hour or two walking around this hill, doing a walking meditation, a meditation in action. And that's, Al's done that. And Al's done it twice, I think. I've been going to Kashmir for 40 years. I've never done it, but I'm inspired while I've still got legs and knees. I'm going to do it this time.
I love that.
Yes.
So there we are. And there's also some other places that we visit in between, Devi Temple and other places as well. But the main frame is this, and it's so wonderful to be able to go back, because I understand Kashmiri, but I can't speak it very well anymore. I speak Hindi and Urdu, but to be able to go back and be at the place where I was raised, and to be right next to Swamiji's ashram, and to be able to, I don't know, mix and speak and be with people from my childhood, and then also to see people like many of you that came and visited with us enjoy it and appreciate it so much. There's just something so special and touching to that. So I'm really looking forward to another journey to Kashmir. It's part of my heart. I think it's definitely part of George's. That's why he keeps living there. It's probably part of George's more than part of mine. Where are you, George? So do you have any questions? Are there any questions or thoughts or comments? And then I can kind of tell you how this is going to work, or how this is, because we have hundreds of people on the waiting list. But that doesn't matter, because unless a person puts the down payment down, you could have 1,000 people on a waiting list. I've learned that from doing retreats now. So any questions, please? Yeah, Rick. Okay. Oh, sorry, Bhakta. Yeah, go for it, Bhakta, and then Rick will ask.
I don't know if you want to just do this on a separate, private call. I have practical details about travel and rooms,
Oh, that's all going to happen, and I'll make sure everything's done like that in a group one when we get together with the actual group that is going, which we'll probably know by sometime of end of February. Because let me just, so that we can go to other questions in a moment, let me just mention this. So what we're going to do is on Monday, the first 45 people that are on the waiting list, we are going to send an email out basically saying, here's a trip, you've been chosen. I mean, you're the first 45. If you want to join us, please send in the $500 down payment to hold your place, which is non-refundable. And then from there you're set. And then maybe say 10 or 15 people pay for it. Then we send it to the other 45 people, and we keep on going like that until we fill it up. We'll have about 45 to 50 people coming from the West, and 10 people from India, if not more. We have to see. And for those of you joining us from India, the pricing would be different. We're not sure what right now. We have to talk to the ashram and stuff of that sort, but I'll know that more towards the end of February. First, I've got to take care of, because of the Western people coming, just because there's so many particulars that go into place with tickets and everything of that sort. And so then I'll be able to really guide everyone on tickets, on visa, on rooms, all that good stuff. I'd be more than happy to help with that. That I'm good at. So Rick Roberts.
Yes, hi. I'm just curious of the day trips. Like, what is the longest one? Like, what's the radius that we travel?
I would say, wouldn't you, George, the longest one would be to Kirvabani, which is about 45 minutes away,
Oh,
depending on traffic. But otherwise, everything else is between 30, I'd say 30 to 45 minutes. And we have these medium-sized buses. We have about 4 of them because it's nice to have space for everyone, so you're not like this. But that's pretty much what the longest is for our 13-day trip together. There are further places, but we're probably not going to those.
thank you. That's helpful.
Absolutely, Rick. Anybody else? You can put your hand up or. Okay, hi, Ricardo. Hi.
Hello. Did you say that in February we are going to send the email for the payments and so on?
So no, the email I'm going to send out is next week. I'm going to start with the first 45. And within the first 45 are people that weren't able to make it last time. We're supposed to come and not able to make it. So they're part of the first 45. And then also some of the people that came with us. And then we just keep on going with that. So I'd say every 4 to 5 days, we'll send out the next group.
Okay. So if I am chosen, I can pay in next week.
You can pay
Maybe.
within that 5 day days that I give or whatever it is. Absolutely. And you're in the first group, Ricardo.
Okay.
So
So let's wait for your email
yeah,
and make the thing.
sounds really good. Okay, good. Any other questions here? So let me look and see what there is over there. So it says, Sangeeta says, how many seats are open? So between 45 to 50. I have to see, because there's some rooms where there'll be a couple, right? A husband or wife, or a brother and sister, or a sister, or 2 friends, or wife and husband. And so according to that, I have to see how many rooms we have. The luxury hotel has 22 rooms, and the other room up the hill has 16 rooms. So according to that, and the ashram has a few rooms. So we just have to figure out how many people are coming or how many people are sharing. Okay. And is there a person in, let me see, is there a person in India who can initiate us during the trip? George, you want to answer that?
Yeah, Swamiji.
Well, that's correct.
Swamiji can initiate. You see, initiation in Kashmir Shaivism, they're not going to go into that here now, but yeah, you by the time you leave, you realize that you've been initiated, and the essence of it is in Kashmir Shaivism, we were all initiated at birth when we took our first breath. And because breath is the essence of Kashmir Shaivism, or at least initiation, and we keep breathing until we realize that we should just watch our breath. And when we start doing that, eventually it ends up in the state where you realize, wow, I myself am Shiva and Shakti, and I've always been that since birth. So, and you realize, wow, I was initiated at birth. So that's initiation in Kashmir Shaivism. It's a matter of realizing, or pratyabhijna, self-realization, realizing who you are. So no worries about initiation.
It will happen. It will happen. You'll see.
Yes.
Thank you, Ricardo. Anybody else have any questions? Alan's going to share, maybe through the Dropbox right here, photos that he has from Kashmir, which would be nice for other people to see. Thank you, Alan. And would any of you like to, that did go with us, just give like a 1 minute of your experience, or what people can look forward to, or anything of that sort?
Yeah, I can share. This is Bruce, and it was fabulous. Every detail I thought was thought out very well. The cabs were wonderful. They were beautiful. I didn't expect such a nice transport. The food was fabulous, and it's India, so things happen and things don't always work according to plan, but they're always willing to modify and adjust. So it was a fabulous experience. And for me, going to Swami Ram's ashram was, it's a dream just to go there and see these places where these saints lived and so on. So it's very, very special. And so anyway, I'd highly recommend it. It's a once of a lifetime thing.
Thank you, Bruce.
I can say that you only need to go there. Things will happen. Don't worry. You have to go there, and Swamiji takes care of all the things.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I would echo that, both of those sentiments as well. I was a very timid traveler and had not been out of the States in many decades, and it was a fabulous experience for me. And so I would say if you have any concerns, to just give them up and go.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Catherine, you were a superstar there. So wait, before another person shares, because I would love that. Nick, you have a question?
Yeah, Sean, I just have a quick question or two. Have you guys announced the full participatory price yet, and are individual rooms available?
Yeah, all of it. Yes. If you go to the website and you look underneath the event of Kashmir Retreat, everything's been put there for the luxury accommodations, which is just a little smushier. And then the basic one, which is also nice and clean, and the people that work there are wonderful. So yeah, it's all up there, Nick. Thank you. Anybody else want to share something?
I would just like to say that it was a dream come true. It makes me teary just to even talk about it. It was that rich and so real, just so real. So
And
thank
it
you.
must have been really sweet also having your daughter with you, because the two of you came together, and that was super
Yeah.
special. That really
Yeah.
reminded me so much of my relationship with my mom and how we've grown over the years and experienced so much. So that always touched my heart, the two of you.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Shauna.
absolutely, Patricia.
Mine too.
Made me a little teary-eyed. Hi. Yes, Alan, please.
I would just kind of reiterate the spirit of what everybody else has said. The whole place vibrates big time, and I think it's a really good way to plug into the Shakti, I don't know. I'm having a hard time putting it into words, but if you get a chance, go, period. I'll just end with this.
Thanks, Al.
Can I jump in for a sec? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you too.
One of the oh, you can see me. Okay, hi. One of the things that I want to just offer is the people that you meet, the collective community of travelers deepens the experience. Al was just on here talking, and to meet Al and Ricardo and Patricia, there was something so magical about like-minded individuals being so curious and open about the teachings, but then interpersonally sharing with one another the experience. It just made it rich. It just made it very rich to have the experience and to meet each and every one of us. And a lot of us are still in touch, obviously. But that was the other part about it. I just wanted to offer how remarkable that is to have that community.
But
I agree.
I know why that was,
Why?
because they were all Shiva. And there was this incredible recognition, like we all knew one another. You know, when Shauna had this idea about bringing all 50 people, you know, I said, oh, that's a great idea. But internally I was going, wow, you know, but when everybody got there, and it was just nectar, you know, it was amrita, it flowed. And I remember Swamiji already knew, you know, there's a great story that was told when everybody was there. In the last 6 months of Swamiji's life, when he was really leaving this world and he wasn't well, he started building this big Havanshala where this was all, you know, performed, where everybody sat. There's enough room there. The old Havanshala had room. We used to do it in Gupta Ganga, which was now taken over by, you know, they'd been taken over, so we couldn't do it there. And somebody asked Swamiji, they said, Swamiji, why are you doing this now? You said you were winding down. And he said, oh, you have no idea how many people are coming from the West. He said, you have no idea. We have to make it available. We have to make a safe, comfortable place. And they were all like, Swamiji, don't spend your money, don't do this. And he just told them basically, shut up, you know, I know what I'm doing. And he built this elaborate Habenschale. And years before, when I was there, because I'm an engineer, he asked me one day, he said, could we demolish this this old satsang hall and build something a little more grand? And I really loved the old satsang hall. It was mud and everything. And he said, here, this is your project. And I drew up a plan. And I took the plan to Swamiji. I was so excited. I showed him the plan. I opened it up. I said, here, Swamiji, ground floor thing like it. And he looked at me. He said, just build it. You know, he said, just build it. And it got built so quickly, and it's still there. And Swamiji did, you know, he did an inauguration of it. He put pegs in the ground in the foundation, and he used to give us lectures there from 1983, 84. I think it was built, yeah, 84. And he just, you know, he loved that satsang hall. And it's just a wonderful place. And in the ashram, he is, I don't know, it's really amazing after going there for so many years. He has vibrated different places in the ashram with a special kind of vibration. I mean, I should say that the satsang hall, the veranda of Swamiji's house where people like to go and sit to meditate, the temple, they all have their unique flavor, and even sitting in the garden. And this year, I think, Shana, we're using the hall above the kitchen, right? No? Same as last year? Okay, I got a
You know
nod
why?
on that.
Because downstairs they cook all day, and sitting upstairs in that room with all the mustard oil and the food and everything is not as wonderful as the Shamiyan. But we'll discuss that. We can discuss all of this later.
Yeah, they can get exhaust fans, but then the fans sound very loud. We had that. Well, we've had courses there. It wasn't unpleasant at all, so we can discuss that. Yes.
Definitely. Any other questions here before we bring this to a close and put everything together and send it out this week?
Before we do hang up, which we do,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say a special hi to Barbara, who I haven't seen for a number of years. Gosh, Barbara, it was, Kerala so many years ago. And good to see you smiling there with the horses in the background.
Yeah, it is Barbara. Hi, Barbara. All the names and faces are not coming up.
And is Al are we going to show some pictures, or is it maybe, I'm not sure if that's
Not
happening.
coming up on my thing, but you know what? Let me just hold on just one second.
Could share the link.
I'm working
chat.
on it. I'm working on it. I will
I
will share a link to an album.
Okay, well, before we leave, I want to share my screen, something that I do impromptu. This is not a very good picture, but this is the Ganesh at the Ganpatiya temple in Srinagar, and it's very special because his trunk is swinging to the right. If any of you have Ganesh statues or pictures, you'll always see it swinging to the left, and he's got the end of his trunk on a big laddu, a big sweet. The one that swings to the right is for moksha. And this temple is so sweet, and Swamiji used to go here often. It's right in the heart of the old city. And all Kashmiri Pandits, whenever they were going on any pilgrimage, like Amarnath or going to Mahadev Mountain, they would always start here and get Ganesha's blessings and then move out, because he's the remover of obstacles. He's Viganesha. And it's a beautiful little temple, and the Ganesha is so sweet.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of the city, right? Old city of Srinagar.
It's right there in the heart of Habakadal. Right there.
Yeah, Habakadal, exactly.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, George. I like impromptu. All righty, everyone. Thank you. Thank you all. We'll all be in touch. And
Good to see.
take care. Be in touch. Jai Gurudev. Nice to see all your faces and the names who don't have faces. And we'll be in touch. Thank you for everything.
Leanne, get some sleep.
Oh yeah, George. Good night. Good night, whoever's on the other side of the world.
Good early
Trika
morning.
and Chris, nice seeing you.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Bye bye.